Goku as a character has never liked to accept shortcuts to power. This goes against everything that Akira Toriyama has made for him, rest in peace, as Goku as a character does not like taking shortcuts. He likes to earn the power himself. We've seen this multiple times throughout the show where he's declined it, never really wanting it. One of the biggest reasons, especially when Goku explained it fully, was when he got the powers of a Super Saiyan God. He even explained to Beerus, well, although the power is incredible, but he's mad that he has it. He's mad that he wasn't able to achieve this on his own. It's kind of just given to him. And that also made Beerus angry. But yeah, Goku's he hated accepting shortcuts in power. He's never liked it. But what if Goku wanted shortcuts in power? What if Goku went out of his way to accept being stronger? And Goku likes to work hard to earn it, but this version of Goku, while he does work hard, he likes to earn it, but he does not mind taking shortcuts to getting stronger. And how strong would Goku actually become if he did? Well, most of the events of early Dragon Ball would go the same, as you all know by this point, with Bardock sacrificing himself, Goku landing on Earth, being met by Grandpa Gohan, where Goku would then be raised. Now, within that short time, Goku originally turned into a great ape, and he sadly killed Grandpa Gohan. But I think what would happen here is while Goku would still learn from Grandpa Gohan, before Grandpa Gohan would be killed by Goku, Goku would want more power. He wants to be trained by the guy who trained Grandpa Gohan. Grandpa Gohan would speak of Master Roshi, a being that was way more powerful than him and was his own teacher. So when Grandpa Gohan would sadly be crushed by Goku as a great ape and Goku reverted back, Goku would start looking for Master Roshi. And over the years, he couldn't find him, because Grandpa Gohan never explained where Roshi was or more. He just said that Roshi was his teacher. He couldn't find him. Until the one day, Bulma would still arrive searching for the Dragon Balls. Her and Goku would then team up, as Goku could use Bulma's help because she has really good transportation, to go find Roshi. And over the course of the next day, they would then find a turtle. Now Goku would still help out this turtle, as Goku's not an evil person. He's just like accepting shortcuts to power. Whatever it takes to get stronger, Goku will do it. And this also means that Goku would have also taken what Grandpa Gohan taught him, and he also trains more seriously. Because Goku, during that year before he met Bulma, he didn't really train too much. He just kind of was surviving, living on his own. But Goku would just train like crazy. He would continue training and learning abilities, and he would have already learned the Kamehameha Wave, because Grandpa Gohan could actually use it. And Goku being eager to learn power, he will learn the ability even before meeting Roshi. But once when they do give the turtle water and help the turtle out, they would then meet Master Roshi. Now Goku would be so happy that he finally found him, and he immediately asked Roshi to train him to teach him so he can become the strongest. Now Roshi does see that Goku does have a good heart, and he does respect Goku's will to help the turtle, but for the time being, he says that when you come back later on, then we can train. But he will still give Goku Flying Nimbus as a reward for bringing him the turtle back. And Goku would of course accept this immediately, because with this Flying Nimbus, he's able to fly throughout the sky. And he is pure of heart, so he's able to get on Flying Nimbus no problem. Now, Goku, Bulma, and Oolong would have met Yamcha and Puar for the first time. Now, I still think that Goku would still actually lose to Yamcha because he was still starving and he would get overwhelmed. Now, originally, Master Roshi used the Kamehameha Wave to put out the flames on the Frying Pan Mountain. Although he does destroy the mountain along with the castle as well, this time it wouldn't happen. It would actually be Goku. Roshi would be shocked to see Goku use the Kamehameha, and it would actually destroy the castle, so the roles are swapped. And Roshi was now interested in training Goku. Now, mind you as well, Goku would have still defeated Boss Rabbit and his gang to the moon, and Goku would keep the Dragon Balls. Because remember, they found all the Dragon Balls because Mai and Shu would originally stole the Dragon Balls from the team, and Pilaf originally summoned Shenron, and Ulan wished for girls' underwear. That's how the Dragon Balls dispersed. But this time, it wouldn't happen. Goku was dead set on making sure that no one takes the Dragon Balls, and he's guarding the Dragon Balls to his life. And when Goku does have a chance, he would actually defeat Pilaf and his gang, and Goku would then look at Shenron, who was now awakened, and Shenron asked to hurry up and make a wish. what do you think Goku would wish for? Of course, Goku would ask Shenron to make him stronger, and Shenron would. Shenron would basically unlock Goku's potential and help make him stronger. Now, mind you, this unlocks the potential that is already within Goku. Not power, as you could realistically wish for power, but Shenron can only make you so strong because Shenron's not that strong either. Even Demon King Piccolo was able to kill him. But we're going to say here that since he got his potential unlocked, Goku is way stronger than the original, as he feels stronger than ever. His power level right now will be 300, which is already insanely OP for Dragon Ball. You're pretty much the strongest in the whole show. So Goku already is absurdly strong. Now, Bulma was a bit mad at Goku for him wasting on a stupid wish like that, but Goku explains that he needs to get stronger no matter what, and with this, he'll be able to help his friends and do his own thing. And Bulma just kind of gave up on it, as by this point, Master Roshi is more than wanting to train Goku, because he wants to make sure that Goku uses this power for good. So, Goku and Krillin would still become Master Roshi students after fighting Launch. Now, of course, Roshi would move his house to a larger island, and this is also when the events of Dragon Ball Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle would take place, but we're not involving movies, even though apparently they say it's all canon. But Goku here is different than Krillin. Goku is, of course, way more adept than Krillin, as he's already way stronger than even Roshi. So Roshi's teachings only go so far. It does increase Goku's strength because his potential's been unlocked. It does increase his strength only a little bit. Goku go maybe about 300 to 350, as Roshi's teachings doesn't really help him since Goku's so powerful. But Goku is like a sponge, as he's listening to everything that Roshi is saying. Another thing about Goku is he's so eager to learn. Now, Goku would learn about Master Shen in the Crane School. Of course, he would also learn about the advanced techniques from Roshi early on. Now, Roshi intentionally limited Goku's knowledge, like he wanted to originally delay the Kamehameha and not teaching other forbidden techniques. So Goku could have learned more deadly abilities or pressure point attacks earlier, which Roshi knew but considered too dangerous. I think that would change. This is when I think Goku would be able to get Roshi to teach him everything that Roshi knew, even the legendary Mafuba technique, meaning that Goku, with a bottle or a concealment, he can seal somebody away. He also learns more about the Demon King who killed Roshi's master and Roshi's beef with Shen. Now, Goku learned everything that he could from Master Roshi, but Roshi has no more use to Goku, as Goku's already learned everything he could, and he learned how to train smart. So this is when Goku would actually leave Roshi's school early. Goku probably stayed there for about 3 to 4 months, as they have about 7 months before the 24th World Martial Arts Tournament would then take place. Goku would then leave, and he would then go to Crane's school, as he went there early. Now, Shen was cruel and unethical, and Goku actually valued Roshi's philosophy and balance way more than Shen, but Goku wants to learn to get stronger, so he would still arrive, and would Goku tell Shen about his teachings with Roshi? I don't think so. So I think Goku would actually lie, and he would explain that he's here to learn more power. Now, he's way stronger than Master Shen, of course, and Shen is happy to have a student that's so strong he can maybe beat Roshi. Now, Goku can learn abilities such as the Dodon Ray, he learns telekinesis, and he also can learn some killing techniques. As, remember, Master Shen does have some pretty OP abilities. Now, Goku learning these, it would only take him a few more months, and would he also meet Tien at this time? Potentially. And if he did, he would also be able to teach himself how to fly. Since Tien was actually able to fly, he was the first character that we ever seen to fly, and Goku be able to learn this. Meaning that while Goku still uses Nimbus, he doesn't really have much of a use for it since he can fly now. Goku is, of course, really OP, so Goku can now fly. Now, another thing as well is you can even talk about Baba, who is Master Roshi's sister. Goku can learn about it from Roshi, so once when he's done training under Shen, Goku would then actually go to Fortune Teller Baba and learn under her. Now, of course, Baba has a lot of things, such as ghost, vampires, magic. It's a lot of things that Goku can realistically learn from them. Now, Goku originally wanted to test himself against her fighters instead of using shortcuts, and if he actually was down to accept shortcuts, he could have received magical artifacts or undead techniques that we've never seen before. And with Goku actually training under Fortune Teller Baba, he could have gained dark magic abilities and powerful in the spirit realm. This means that Goku actually can use magic. And while it will be very difficult for him to learn, he'll be able to use it. He can do spirit communication and necromancy, to where he'll be able to communicate with the dead at will. He can summon ghosts or even fight alongside spirits. And Goku might have been able to summon Grandpa Gohan or other fighters from the past as spiritual allies in battle, which he can. And he'd get battlefield support without needing real teammates, so Goku can summon people to help fight alongside him. Now, he can also use techniques to possess enemies. He can use ghost possessions. He could neutralize stronger opponents without direct combats. He can use dark magic, such as energy blasts and barriers, enhanced by a call energy instead of regular ki. Goku might have developed a darker version of the Kamehameha. And he can even enhance magic with the abilities that he already has. As imagine he can take his Kamehameha, and he then uses dark magic to enhance the damage and weaken opponents. That's OP. And one thing as well, Goku's most important thing that he would have learned is definitely teleportation. This also means that Goku can teleport to the living world and the other world. So it means he can jump across dimensions, almost like a magic version of instant transmission. He could even do future seeing and enemy weakness detection, magical insights. He could even train in the underworld as well, even learning from people like Spike the Devilman. Goku, I think, would have met Spike the Devilman, and this is where Goku would gain one of the most powerful techniques that I think would be insanely OP. Spike the Devilman has a really OP ability, to where he basically uses this beam of energy, and what it does is it kind of reverses explosions to negative energy in your heart, meaning that your own evil becomes your basically weakness. He basically explodes your heart, so the more evil you are, the more damage it would actually do, which is extremely dangerous. And it's basically like a soul flare ability, where basically it's a technique that damages opponents based on their evil or guilt, which is extremely OP. And that, I think, will be Goku's main technique that he would want to use. As while he can use some forms of magic, he would definitely use the one to definitely jump back and forth dimensions, and also use more or less a soul flare ability, to where from Spike the Devilman, Goku would just enhance it to make it his own, to where it's easier for him to use. That, I think, is what Goku would do. But Goku knows that against pure beings, it wouldn't really work. Now, after these 7 to 8 plus months, World Martial Arts Tournament has now taken place. Goku would then step up, and now he already had a falling out with Master Shen, as he explained who he really was and that he was under Master Roshi's students. While Goku does agree that Master Shen's abilities are incredible, but his way of getting stronger is not the way that Goku wants. His mindset, you'll be held back. This means that he would have also fought Tien and Master Shen as well and defeated them. As for the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, Goku would then fight the main character, of course, Jackie Chun, who is aka Master Roshi. Now, originally, Master Roshi won. Against this version of Goku who has all these hacks, there is no way that Master Roshi would be able to win. Goku's just far too powerful. Now, of course, here's the main question. How strong is Goku, since Goku has gained all his power-ups and he's gained more? In my opinion, Goku's power level would be roughly around from about 350. It would jump up to about 600, which is already an insane power-up, considering the fact that he's still in Dragon Ball. So he's already the strongest character, which is completely busted. Now, what about afterwards? Well, Goku originally would have eaten all the funds because he's Goku. He has to still, he's a Saiyan. Now, originally, the Red Ribbon Army saga would still go down. Now, Goku knows that the Red Ribbon Army saga is evil, and he would not align himself with them because they would just use him. He knows that they're bad. Now, during this time, I think Goku would have a more thorough way of defeating them because of how powerful he is. He would easily defeat the Red Ribbon Army. General Blue, Mercenary Tao, none of them would have a chance to defeat Goku. He's way too powerful, and Goku would have defeated them. Now, one thing is Goku would use Bulma. And by Bulma, what I mean is Goku would collect as much data as he can from the Red Ribbon Army and give it to Bulma. And he asked Bulma if she can use this technology and notes from the best scientists to make better ways to make him stronger. And I think Bulma would listen because in return, Bulma's getting way better technology that she can then use to help her father with Capsule Corp. So it seems like a fair trade. Now, in those notes, Bulma would also find notes on Dr. Gero. Now, Dr. Gero, would he be killed in this timeline? I'm going to say yes. The reason why is because Goku's making more of a serious turn to making sure that the Red Ribbon Army is not in his way, as he doesn't want them coming back or causing issues. This means that Bulma does have early notes of androids, how they worked, how these androids are basically enhanced humans. They were given certain things to make themselves stronger, and Bulma might have something for Goku later on, but that's still really early phase. It will take a long time. Now, Goku would then meet Yajirobe. Learning under Yajirobe, Goku would be explaining to Yajirobe that there's a better teacher than him, which is Korin. And once when he does train under Korin, he doesn't need to quote-unquote train just to take sacred water after 3 days, which is basically tap water. Goku would train under Korin fully, learning everything that he can. Goku would even learn how to grow sensu beans, but that, of course, is an extremely long process. Now, Goku here would learn a more important thing from Korin. The sacred water. Korin would then explain that he does know the location and Goku was pure of heart. So he would then bring Goku to the sacred water. Now, Korin originally told Goku to only drink a cup of the sacred water. Well, this version of Goku would drink the whole thing. Gulp after gulp after gulp. He would drink the whole thing. Now, Korin would panic as Goku would then collapse, seemingly dead. As Korin says, "Why did you drink the whole thing? No one's ever drank the whole thing. You're gonna die." But to his surprise, Goku would then stand up, as Goku's using some of Baba's magic as well to help keep him going and heal himself. Since Baba can do that, she can heal wounds. Goku was able to survive, but Goku was unconscious. After the next few days, Goku would then awaken in Korin's tower, and Korin was in utter shock. "You drank the entirety of the sacred water. How did you survive?" And Goku would then look at his hands as he would then charge up his aura. Goku is stronger than ever. This sacred water just makes you more OP. Now, originally, if Goku's power level is about 600, Goku originally went from having a power level of around 180 to having a power level 260 when he originally trained and got the sacred water. He got 1.4 times stronger. Now, if Goku, let's say, took on more gulps per water, you could say maybe he got 5 times stronger, even 10 times stronger, which is not too far-fetched because he drank the whole thing. But realistically, his power level is much higher. Goku would go from 600, in my opinion, he'll probably get maybe 3 to 5 times stronger. Even if you want to highball, say 5 times, his new power level is now 3,000, meaning he's stronger than Raditz, which is absolutely OP. He's pretty much double the strength of Raditz. Now that Goku's way more than enough, Goku's still 13 years old. He still has a few more years. So, over the next few years, Goku would now be 16, as Goku would then swim to Papa Island, where he would go fight in the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. Now, this is when Tien Shenhan was fully around, and that's when the Demon King Piccolo arc would then begin. But now, mind you, Goku's been training for 3 years. Goku's been enhancing his abilities, making himself stronger than ever. It's ridiculous with how strong Goku is. I wouldn't say he wouldn't get it too much stronger. I'd probably say he went from having power of 3,000 maybe to around 4,000 to 5,000, which is already a big bump. And Goku's still 16 years old, which is insane with how strong he is in Dragon Ball. No one can touch him in Dragon Ball, which means you know how this will go. People like Tien would have been absolutely slapped around by Goku. He would have been one shot and Goku would have won. Now, Krillin was originally killed by Tambourine. This is when I think Goku would not use the Dragon Balls. He would then use the magic that he learned from Baba to save Krillin's life, as he can take Krillin's soul. Now, he would do this in front of King Yemma, who is angry at Goku, but Goku would say, well, listen, if I don't stop Demon King Piccolo now and I need Krillin's help, King Piccolo will kill billions. And King Yemma's like, oh, Yeah, okay, yeah, you got that, you got that. So Goku would be allowed to take Krillin's soul and put it back in his body after healing him, and Krillin was brought back. Now Goku would have easily killed Tambourine, and Demon King Piccolo is now here. Now Goku here would have absolutely annihilated, he would have humiliated him, and he has no chance. Demon King Piccolo knows this, so before he was killed, he would spit out an egg, ensuring that he would live on as a reincarnation, and Goku would have killed Demon King Piccolo. This also means that Kami is still alive, as by this, Goku would not really have much else to do. He would probably still meet up with Yajirobe, climb up Korn's tower, and Korn would explain that he taught him everything that he needs to, but maybe go train under Kami. Now, Goku training under Kami would be OP, as Kami originally wanted to remove Goku's tail. I don't think that would happen. What I think what would happen here is Goku would ask Baba to help him become stronger, and with all these abilities that he has, Goku would be able to control his Great Ape state. I think that he knows that he has a rare power. He can go to the other world and speak to people about the Saiyans. He knows everything about it. Now, one thing people are going to ask, well, why didn't Goku go to King Kai's yet? Well, it's because Goku would not be able to make the journey, as he could teleport to the other world, but only up to where King Yama is. He would have to run all the way across Snake Way, but we'll touch upon that in 1 second, as for how Goku's going to be able to make it. As Goku, after the defeat of Demon King Piccolo, and he would then train under Kami for roughly about a year, as he didn't really see much of a use to train under Kami for too long, he would then ask Kami about King Kai, learning more about him. And he explains that Snake Way would take you months to get across, and you're still living, so you would die. Goku does have one way. He says, well, I can fly there. And he says, well, true, but that would still take you a month. How are you going to survive and not die of starvation or thirst? And now, by the way, Goku would also learn about the Room of Spirit and Time, which is already an insanely OP thing. Goku would spend the full year in there like he did in the original, but Popo would explain that Goku did some damage to it, so he can't stay in there, and he has to repair the door. So it would take him a few years to do so. So Goku, at this point, has already spent a full year inside the Room of Spirit and Time. His power level is over 5,000. On top of the fact he spent Room of Spirit and Time, his power level could have doubled, because he would have experienced 10 times gravity. If you guys remember, Goku's never really fully experienced 10 times gravity yet. When Goku experienced 10 times gravity, he trained with King Kai for just a few months, and he was able to get around 18.8 times stronger. Meaning that even if Goku got the same boost training for a full year, that is kind of ridiculous with how strong Goku would actually be. But we're not going to go that far. What I'm going to say what would happen is Goku probably got around 10 times stronger. And even if that's the case, his power level would now be 50,000. So Goku is fast enough to be able to make it. But before he does go, he does get a bag. And this is the help of Bulma. Bulma would then explain to Goku that they have capsules in there that have food that will give him the calories that he needs to survive for at least 2 months, which is more than what Goku needs. He thanks Bulma, and Goku would then leave. He would then rush to King Kai's world going full speed, and it would still take him a few weeks of traveling, at least a week plus. And Goku would just, of course, eat his food, do his normal thing, and he would finally make it to King Kai's world early. Remember, Goku still has 2 years before the events of Goku and the Piccolo Jr. arc. So Goku would finally arrive, and King Kai was surprised to see a living being is here. How did he get here? Goku would explain who he is, and that he wants to learn under King Kai, and King Kai would see Goku powering up. King Kai was shaking in his boots, literally, with how strong Goku was. He says that Goku's power rivals that of the Ginyu Force. That's insane. And he's a Saiyan? He would instantly accept and train Goku. So Goku would then spend the next 2 years training under King Kai. Now, Goku would of course spend this time learning the Kaio-Ken technique, but now since Goku's living, the Kaio-Ken technique does damage him more. But he just be very careful with it. And he will learn the Spirit Bomb, and more. Now, Goku will learn all he can from King Kai over the next 2 years. Now, Goku would arrive for the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. Now, by this point, would Goku get with Chi-Chi is what I think everybody wants to say. Yes, because while Goku is still an idiot, The only difference between this version of Goku and the other one is just this version of Goku just accepts shortcuts and he looks for ways to get stronger. So I still think he would still settle down with Chi-Chi, as Goku's pretty satisfied with what he has. He's still going to continue training, and he has other ways to get stronger. As during those 5 years, Goku would continue his training, as he didn't slouch off as bad as he originally did. Goku, by this point, would meet up with Bulma, and Bulma would have something for Goku. She would have the gravity room. With the gravity room, Goku's able to increase the gravity. She's able to put it up to 25 times gravity for the time being, and Goku would then use this near his house. So he's still around, and Chi-Chi's not flipping out on him, and he's still training. Now, Gohan's not much of a fighter still. It's the same Gohan that we all know, and he's already insanely OP as he already is, so we don't really need too much. This is when Piccolo, I think, he knows that he cannot match Goku's power. Goku is just far too strong. Now, I think Piccolo would maybe try to make amends with Goku, maybe, or maybe he would try to speak to Goku, because he knows that Goku can kill him anytime that he wants to. And I think Piccolo would then meet up with Goku to at least fight him one time, and he would prove his point, as Goku would annihilate Piccolo with ease. But Goku spares him because he knows that if Piccolo dies, Kami dies as well. And one thing too, why doesn't Goku abuse the Dragon Balls? Why doesn't he just wish to get stronger every single time? Well, it's because he already talked to Kami about this, and Kami explained that the Dragon Balls don't work that way. That you've already released all of your latent potential. There's no point asking for that wish, because it wouldn't really make you that much stronger. It would just disperse, and you wasted all your time. So that's the reason why Goku hasn't done it yet. He hasn't really wished the Dragon Balls to make him stronger. Now, Piccolo will be training harder than ever to try and keep up with Goku, but we know that he won't really be able to. Now, Piccolo has accepted that Goku's better than him, and he kind of mellows out a little bit. But by this point, 5 years have now passed fully, and Goku will still arrive to Master Roshi's island, and this is when Raditz will still arrive. Now, Raditz will still meet up, explain to Goku who he is and what he is, as Goku already knows. King Kai told him everything. And he would then tell Raditz to get off of his planet and to never return. Now, Raditz was of course infuriated by this, and he would try to attack Goku, but we know how that goes. Goku with a single strike would nearly kill Raditz with his punch. It would shatter Raditz's armor and knock him into the water. Now, Raditz was badly wounded. He would then summon his space pod to try and get away, because Raditz fears for his life. Raditz has always been a bit of a coward when someone overwhelms him. As he then explains that, "What are you?" as he tapped his scouter, in that moment, the scouter exploded, shooting past 30,000, and he says, "Your power level is not 30,000, that's impossible. And I will be back here, but with 2 Saiyans 10 times the strength of mine, and you're dead." And he would then leave, and Vegeta and Nappa would kill Raditz, because they still promised that if he failed, they were going to kill him, so Raditz is still dead. Though Vegeta and Nappa, they are now interested in going to Earth and seeing what this Saiyan is all about. If he really is that strong, what makes him so special? So Goku knows that they have about a year to train before the Saiyans do arrive. Now, Goku thinks that he can probably handle them, but he wants to help his friends also become stronger too, as Goku's still a nice guy. So in turn, Goku, with the help of Piccolo, would then begin training Gohan. Now, Goku does know a lot of ways. They would use the gravity room, as Bulma has enhanced it, being good to up to 50 times gravity. So Goku's power level by this point, even if you say that he got twice as strong within a year, because he was mainly focused on training Gohan, because he knows how strong Gohan actually is. He knows Gohan's inner potential. He's seen it. And he knows that if he makes Gohan stronger, and if Gohan actually surpassed him, Goku can then use Gohan to make himself stronger too. They bounce off each other. This would also make Piccolo stronger too, because he's training with a much stronger version of Goku. And Goku's power level would, of course, be in the hundreds of thousands. He would be well over 100,000. Piccolo, in my opinion, originally his power level was around 3,500 or around 2,500. His power level would probably be around 8 to 10,000. Gohan's power level was around 900 to 1,500 when he got angry, and he got more angry on top of that over Vegeta. I think that Gohan would have a power level of roughly around 5,000, which is insanely OP. I mean, he could fight Nappa on his own. Now, when Vegeta and Nappa do arrive, the Earthlings are stronger too, because they have more motivation. So when the Cyberman attack does happen, they still bring out the Cybermen. When the Cyberman does attack Yamcha and blow himself up, Yamcha doesn't die, as he does have some wounds, but he's okay, as Yamcha's power level is around 3,000 to 4,000, so they're all way stronger. Now, this means that they would attack Nappa and absolutely overwhelm him and kind of kill Nappa. Nappa has no chance. Now, with Vegeta, Vegeta knows that if they all gang up on him, he's in bad trouble. Goku would fight Vegeta, and they would then fly out to go their own path, as the rest of the people handle the Cybermen no issue. This is when Goku would battle Vegeta, who goes to his full strength, and although he's insanely strong, he's absolutely nothing to Goku. Goku would easily overwhelm Vegeta with absolute ease. Now, Vegeta knows that he cannot turn himself into a Great Ape because Goku does have a tail. And he's not an idiot. He's not going to assume that Goku can just control it, because even if Goku lost control and he attacks Vegeta, he would have killed him. Now, Goku would then power up and he would overwhelm Vegeta with absolute ease. Even with the Gallic Gun attack, it wouldn't do anything. Goku would just slap the attack away. But Goku does see potential in Vegeta, and he doesn't want to kill somebody to kill him. Nappa's too out of control. Vegeta was defeated. He couldn't even defend himself. As Vegeta was crawling away, the Z Fighters were happy with killing him, but Goku would say no, let Vegeta go. And Vegeta would then get into his space pod and say, "You regret sparing me," and he would then leave. Now, by this point, they would never head to Namek because none of the Z Fighters died, Piccolo's still alive, and Frieza never even heard about Namek to begin with, because they never mentioned the Dragon Balls. The only reason why Vegeta and Nappa came was because of what Raditz said and how badly he was beaten, and it kind of made them interested that his power level was over 30,000. That's the only reason why they came. But since they heard about Vegeta's defeat, this does pique Frieza's interest slightly. So Vegeta did get much stronger Zenkai, being probably around 25,000 to 28,000. You can highball put him to 30 if you really want, because you got to feel a much stronger version of Goku. But either way, I think Vegeta would then cause issues. Vegeta, with his new power, when Zarbon tries to punk him, same with Dodoria, Vegeta would kill them both. And Frieza was not happy about that, as Frieza would nearly kill Vegeta, but I think he would spare him and explain, the only reason why I'm sparing you is because of what happened. Who defeated you? Which Saiyan defeated you? And Vegeta would explain that there's a Saiyan on Earth by the name of Kakarot, and his power can defeat yours. And Frieza would laugh and say, "Oh, is that so?" And he explains, "Well, I have to go see that for myself, but I'll send you and the Ginyu Force." Because Frieza knows that the Ginyu Force will probably kill Vegeta, so when the Ginyu Force does arrive, they would begin attacking Vegeta. Vegeta would be able to escape, getting into a space pod, as he would be able to escape with his life, heading to Earth out of desperation. And Frieza would just tell Ginyu to go follow them and handle this business. And if you are defeated, then I'll go there myself. So Frieza would slowly start making his way there. The Ginyu Force is hot on Vegeta's trail, as Vegeta does have a faster pod because he's traveling alone. He would be able to arrive on Earth and explain to Kakarot what is happening, and that the Ginyu Force will be here any minute. As then they look to the sky, and the Ginyu Force begins to fall from the sky. We last ended with Goku looking up to the sky with Vegeta and the others, seeing the Ginyu Force heading right towards them. The pods would then land as the Ginyu Force then steps out. Now Frieza is not too far behind. He has about a week before he'll show up before the Ginyu Force, as he's taking his time. He's going slow, as he doesn't want to waste his time going all the way to Earth. But if Frieza needs to, he can speed up to full speed and get there within a day or two, if he really wants to. When the Ginyu Force does step out, Vegeta's a little worried, but not to a degree. He knows that Kakarot could probably beat them if he really wanted to. Now, if you guys remember, Goku is absurdly strong, in the hundreds of thousands, maybe even higher, and with how broken he's actually become, especially with the magic and more abilities that he could actually use, he was able to overwhelm even Grade 8 Vegeta with ease, showing you just how strong Goku actually is. Now, when the Ginyu Force does arrive, they would then see Goku, and Goku would immediately challenge the Ginyu Force. First, they would actually send out Guldo, and Guldo would try to fight Goku, and he would have his time-skipping ability. Now, Guldo's ability is to where he can hold his breath, and he's actually able to freeze time itself. But he can't hold his breath for too long, which is a super OP ability that Goku actually wouldn't mind learning. He sees this as a huge advantage, as Goku can actually hold his breath for a very long time. He's been shown to hold his breath for minutes and minutes on end, thinking of whole ideas to actually beat Frieza, as we saw before on Namek when he was underwater. So imagine if Goku had that kind of ability. We'll touch on this in a moment. as Goku would then battle Guldo, but he was struggling a little bit because of his breathing time ability. But Goku then figures it out. As soon as Guldo releases a breath, Goku would have then killed Guldo. Now, while Guldo was killed, Goku would then do something that he hasn't done before. Goku wants to learn this ability for himself, and he has taken Baba's magic and enhanced it to make it even better. With this magic, he would then take Guldo's own abilities that he's stolen from him. And to the shock of the Ginyu Force, Goku would then comically hold his breath and time briefly flickered. Goku would then try it again as he's trying to get the hang of it. But now during this time, Raccoon would then step up and he would try to fight Goku. Goku would actually learn how to use it and hold his breath, and with that, time would then freeze. Goku now has one of the most busted abilities. Now, Goku does want to test something else out since he hasn't really done it in a long time. He wants to try it out on them as well. And he thinks that Raccoon's a pretty evil guy. I mean, Raccoon was the same guy who nearly killed a child, pretty much Gohan, crippling him, so I think Raccoon was pretty evil. Goku would then hold his hand out and he would then smirk at Raccoon, and Raccoon doesn't know what he's going to do. But then, Goku then zaps him with the Devilmite beam. The Devilmite beam would then implode Raccoon from the inside out, and Raccoon would then lay there as he was nearly killed because of the attack. Because Raccoon is not completely evil. The Devilmite beam damages you depending on how evil you are. Raccoon is very evil, same with the rest of the Ginyu Force. They don't really have no care for anything. But it would really work on something that is evil itself, such as Janemba, maybe even Kid Buu. Something like that would be an instant death. Or something like DBZ Broly would be a near instant death too. And they were shocked to see this, as Goku just laughed and he said he just wanted to try it out. Vegeta was shocked to know that Goku has these kind of techniques. He could have used it on him. Why didn't he do it? But then, we would then have Goku completely annihilate the Ginyu Force. Jason Birder would try to team up to battle Goku. Goku would hold them off pretty easily, and he would have defeated them with ease. Next was Ginyu. Now, Captain Ginyu has a rare ability that we all know called the Change Now technique, where you swap bodies. Do I think that Goku would purposely take someone else's body? No. The reason why is because realistically, if Goku actually did take his technique and swap bodies with somebody, he would have to relearn that body. And I think Goku's happy with the body that he has now. So when Ginyu does try the Change Now technique after injuring himself, he would be surprised to see Goku freezing time by holding his breath, or he could have dodged the attack anyway because he's too fast, and Goku would have killed Ginyu in a single strike. Now, Goku then picks up his scouter, and he can hear Frieza actually talking. And Frieza was asking, "What's the status update? Why aren't you responding?" Goku would actually speak into the scouter. He would tell Frieza to come for him, and that he is waiting. He then smashes the scouter. As then Bulma would then show up, as she would take a few of the scouters for herself, and she has some new stuff for Goku. Now Vegeta was shocked to see this, but he decides to hang around as there's nowhere else to do. And Vegeta says that Frieza, knowing that he's going pretty much almost full speed here, he'll be here within a few days. How are we going to be able to get strong enough to be able to do this? And Goku has an idea. He would then look to Bulma, and he would then ask for her help. As Bulma, remember, she didn't have a lot of help in Goku's role in getting stronger, especially with the technology. As Bulma has tons of food supply. Now, what is this for? Goku explains that there is something called the Room of Spirit and Time. With this, we are able to stay a full year within a day's time. And so, Goku would then take Vegeta with him. And both of them would then go in the Room of Spirit and Time. Since remember, you can't go in and out the Room of Spirit and Time. This is before Dende was here, and Dende actually updated the door and the Dragon Balls. So, Goku and Vegeta would take advantage of it since they are the strongest. Goku would then pause before stepping in, and he would actually ask Piccolo to come along as well, because Piccolo is one of the strongest. Now, mind you as well, Piccolo doesn't need food, he just needs water, and he's okay. and Bulma has plenty of capsules to supply for that. So much to Popo's request of not doing this, they do it anyway. As then they would step into the room of spirit in time. The three of them would be trained. Now Piccolo had to catch up by a decent amount, but Piccolo's really powerful if you really give him, he doesn't really get enough credit as he should. He was able to catch up and be as strong as a Super Saiyan when his normal base power. Just saying. So now, over a day would then pass as everybody's waiting, they would then step out, and they are much stronger. Now getting into power levels at this point is kind of redundant, but Goku has definitely gotten so much stronger, training in the gravity and more. With this, Goku has also brought something else with him in the Room of Spirit and Time. See, Goku's thinking of every way to get stronger, and what do you think he brought? This is the gravity machine. Goku, with the help of Bulma gave Goku a brand new gravity machine. It almost looks like a small, and they wanted to see if it would work in the Room of Spirit and Time, and it did. But it's only in a specific area. It only has like a certain zone, but they would use this to then train him. With this, their power levels are easily in the millions or higher. Now, one thing to note too is Piccolo would actually fuse with Kami early. I believe this would be Goku's doing. The reason why is because Goku sees that Kami would be safer being with Piccolo, considering that Piccolo is so much stronger. And Kami is also aging rapidly. Now, that does mean one thing though. They would need a new Namekian. Well, since Frieza's technically not going to Namek, if you wanted to argue that, oh, well, they can't use the Dragon Balls, Goku has magic. Goku would then transport himself to King Kai's world. He would ask King Kai for help in locating where Namek is. Now, King Kai would be really terrified and says, why am I brought here to Namek? As the Namekians would look at Goku curiously, wonder why he's here. Goku would explain himself and explain that if it's okay, I was wondering if I can borrow one of your Namekians, and he would explain the whole situation. They would then take him to go meet Elder Guru. Now, Elder Guru can read Goku's mind. He sees that Goku does have a noble heart. He's a good person. And he would even unlock Goku's potential. Goku explains that he needs to become as strong as possible to defeat Frieza. And Frieza would most likely come here as well. Maybe even misuse the Dragon Balls that they have on Earth. And Elder Guru explains that, well, you can use ours. We have up to 3 wishes that you can actually use. The next thing is Goku would of course ask for his potential to be unlocked. This would increase Goku's power massively, and Goku would not get a new form, but I think he would definitely have his potential unlocked and his pool of power would have been released. And by this point, he's already reaching at least 50 plus million to maybe even 100 million levels of power, which is absurd. The fact that he's in base form and he's that powerful. What about the final wish? Well, I think the wish is going to be what y'all were imagining. Goku would then ask if it's okay, and he would then ask Dende if he can have immortality. Now, this wish is extremely dangerous. If that's the case, Goku would still get immortality. He would even promise the Namekians that if they want, he could always come back and they can remove it. But Elder Guru says no. If an immortal warrior is anyone, it would be you. And Goku's happy to hear that deep down because he needs to be stronger. And imagine he can heal every ability. Goku is so OP, and by this point, Goku would then go back to Earth, bringing Dende alongside with him. Frieza by this point would have arrived, as it's been a few days. Now that Frieza's here, what's going to happen to Frieza? Well, Goku would then step up first, as the Z Fighters will all handle Frieza's men. As Frieza probably brought a few thousand soldiers, they would have been dispatched very quickly, even with Vegeta and Piccolo there. Now, Vegeta does want to fight Frieza first, and he asks Kakarot to do this. He wants to have his revenge, and Goku would actually respect it and actually stay out of Vegeta's way just this one time. Now, Vegeta is very powerful. I would say his power level is roughly 3 to 4 million, which is really impressive. Piccolo's in the similar ballpark. You can even say higher. You can go up to 5 to even 10 if you really want, but Vegeta does not have Super Saiyan, as they've never really seen it. Now, you would then have them battling Frieza, and Vegeta would do much better than he originally did. And Vegeta would then have a little trick up his sleeve that he was trying to learn under the hands of Goku, as Frieza would then go to his final form and he would overwhelm Vegeta. Now, there is one technique that Vegeta did learn from Goku during that year, but he hasn't fully mastered it yet, as his ki control is struggling. Somebody like Piccolo is more of a calm spirit, it's easier for him. Vegeta would then yell out the Kaio-Ken technique. He can bump Kaio-Ken up to ×2 for now, as it's still super early that he's learning about it. But of course, this will bump his power up to twice, He would actually get a surprise hit on Frieza, but we know that Frieza would then get irritated and he would start to overwhelm Vegeta. Now, Piccolo would try to jump in to help Vegeta, but he would get overwhelmed. Piccolo would be able to maybe even go up to times 3 or 4, maybe even 5 if you really want to be nice to Piccolo. And if his power level was roughly 3 to 4 million, even if you want to say 4 million, if you times that by 5, that's only 20 million, which is still impressive. But against Frieza, it's not enough. Frieza would have defeated him. This is when Frieza wants to fight Goku, as Goku's the one who's been really wanting to itch to fight. Goku in his base form is actually comparative to Frieza, and he's actually able to slightly overwhelm Frieza because of Goku's martial arts. And Frieza's not much of a fighter, but he's unpredictable. Now Goku would then note on how Frieza's still holding back, and Frieza's only gone about 50%. He would then bump up to 80, and which will bump his power level up to roughly over 80, 88 to 85 million. He would then keep up with Goku. Now Frieza is damaging Goku, but to Frieza's surprise, when Goku did have a cut alongside of his face, it then healed. And Frieza says, "What is happening? How are your wounds healing instantly? Is it some kind of healing factor of some kind?" As then, Frieza would then continue attacking Goku. Now, one thing to note is the more damage Goku is getting, the stronger he's getting, because every time he heals, he's getting a slight Zenkai. Every single time. It may be really small, but he's gradually growing in power. And Frieza's noting on this. And now Goku's S cells are higher than ever. Shenron originally, who was bumped up by Dende, gave Piccolo a bit of an extra help. Now we're not going to go down this path with having a potential unleashed or a custom form. What Purunga did is it increased Goku's S cells. It could tell that Goku's S cell count was extremely high. This would drastically change the story because Goku here, he would be able to transform into a Super Saiyan using his S cells. And I think it is very plausible. As with this, Goku is now a Super Saiyan, shocking everybody. Frieza's absolutely cooked. Even Goku would allow Frieza to go 100%. But unfortunately for Frieza, even at 100% power, he is absolutely no match for Goku. Goku is 10 to 20 times his strength. Goku would absolutely annihilate Frieza, and there's nothing that Frieza can do. Frieza would have been completely defeated. Goku would still give Frieza one chance to leave, but Frieza would not. Frieza, out of desperation, would try to blow up the planet, but Vegeta called it out, and Goku would stop it in time. As Goku tried to give Frieza one last chance, but he blew it, firing a ki blast, and it would actually kill Frieza, wiping him off the face of the planet and sending him straight to hell. Now, Vegeta was in shock with how strong Kakarot's become, and they have some questions for him, like, what did you wish for? And Goku explained that he had to do what he can to beat Frieza, and he still has some weaknesses that he notes to himself. While true, he has immortality, but immortality does not increase his stamina. While yes, he can recover wounds and fatal attacks, he still runs out of energy. That's not tied to immortality, that's his life, while his energy is still running dry. He would then, over the next few years, we would then have Trunks, who would still arrive from the future timeline. Now, Trunks here is from the original. There's no special things with Trunks. He was confused as to why Frieza never showed up, or where Goku's at, as he doesn't see Goku around, until he would then head towards where Goku is at Chi-Chi's home and see that Goku was there. Trunks would then speak to Goku privately and have a little duel together. He would see just how strong Goku really is, and it's beyond anything he's ever seen. He thinks that you would be able to beat the androids in a single attack if you really wanted. And now, mind you, one thing too, with this, he would still give Goku the heart virus medicine and explains what happens. Well, Goku's technically immortal, so the heart virus wouldn't really affect him. And Goku would probably know this, but he wants to be safe. But he would take the heart virus medicine anyway, and then they have about 3 years time. Now Piccolo overheard this, as Piccolo's just aura farming, and Piccolo can hear things from far away. They would let the Z Fighters and everybody else know that they have 3 years to train before these evil androids arrive. Goku, during this time, would then go to Bulma, as Vegeta went out to space to go on his own journey to try and get stronger, but he will be back, as he does want to have a rematch with Kakarot. He wants to be a Super Saiyan too. I wanna. Now, he would then go to Bulma for a very important role in the show. Bulma originally, if you guys remember, she took Dr. Gero's notes about the androids. It's so early, as Goku would then explain that Bulma, it's time. And Bulma says, are you sure? And he says, yes. She says, okay. And then Goku would undergo specialized surgery. Bulma, with her specialized tech, would enhance Goku cybernetically. This version of Goku is now different. This also means that Goku has infinite stamina and infinite energy. But past that, that's the most that she could do. And now Goku is practically unbeatable. He has infinite life. He's immortal. He has infinite stamina, means he can fight forever. And he has infinite energy. And the more you fight him, the stronger he gets. So this version of Goku's getting, and he has magic on top of that, like where he can heal himself and more. This version of Goku's so ridiculous. But he would then fight the androids. Now, one thing to note too, that some people are probably going to be asking about the Red Ribbon Army and the androids, Goku made sure to kind of clean out Dr. Gero and to clean out any other androids that are in his way. Well, realistically, if you wanted to argue and say, oh, well, Dr. Gero survived and he's an android, realistically wouldn't really matter, as if Dr. Gero technically was dead, I think the androids would still be there no matter what, as I think other scientists would then pick up on his research, as they remember they still had it. Dr. Gero's not an idiot. He has fail-safes in plan. Like, he also put his brain in a machine as well, but that's for later on. I do think that the androids would still be here. Would they be as advanced as I think they would be? I don't think so. Nor do I think there would realistically be a Cell, but this version of Cell that we know is from a different timeline, so he would still be here. It's just he's not compatible with those two androids. So the saga is really kind of thrown for a loop. Do I think there will be androids? Absolutely. I believe that these androids are still earlier models that the Red Ribbon Army made, because Dr. Gero not really being around much and having his work stolen, / he could be dead. We all know that from the original part, from the first part. The androids are not as advanced, so when the Z-Fighters do see them, they kind of get overwhelmed and are beaten pretty easily. Goku never actually succumbs to the heart virus because he's immortal. This also means that when Vegeta does show up, the real battle would actually be Vegeta and Goku, and realistically Cell. Now the thing with Cell is Cell, his first form, he would then note on what's happening and that there is no androids, no nothing. Cell's a sneaky little thing. Now, Cell would note on how, past this point, he would either be killed by Piccolo, or he would be absorbing people in towns, and he would have been found by Goku or Vegeta, and he would have been killed. Unfortunately for Cell, there's really nothing that he could do. He can't really absorb the androids. There's no androids 17 or 18, sorry, Krillin. There's nothing that Cell could really do. So Cell would have realistically been defeated sooner or later, or he would have just been in hiding for a very long time. But I think Cell would need to absorb people to survive, so realistically, it would have been bad. So unfortunately for Cell, he would have been defeated. Now, the main event would of course be Vegeta and Goku, the two of them battling each other. Vegeta does want to have his rematch against Goku, and it would be intense. The two of them battling together, but unfortunately for Vegeta, even with Super Saiyan, it would be nothing. Nothing that he can do against Goku. Goku is far too powerful. Goku would have absolutely annihilated Vegeta in their matchup, and it would have been a wrap. There's nothing else that could have been done. Now, for the events of the Buu Saga, what would happen? Well, for the events of the Buu Saga, 7 years would pass pretty normally. Nothing else would happen except Goku's not dead. This means that he would not be in the other world. He can go there whenever he wants, and I still think that he would, just not stay there for the full 7 years. I think he would still learn about the fusion dance. He would still learn about it, and he would still fight Piccolo during that Otherworld tournament. I still think that would happen. Now, past that point, I don't really see anything really else happening. Unfortunately for Majin Buu or the others, Goku would still show up for the World Martial Arts Tournament. They would still meet everybody. Vegeta's a bit different. He kind of accepted what happened, and he accepts that Kakarot is better than him. So, past that, Vegeta doesn't really have that inner turmoil. Now, when they do still meet the Supreme Kai, Goku is interested in training with them. When they do find Babidi's ship, because Gohan would have still transformed, had his energy taken, that would have all still happened. He would have still met Videl and went to the Orange Star High School. That would have happened the same as the Great Saiyan Man. When they do arrive at Babidi's ship, Goku saw how strong Spopovich and Yamu have gotten, similar to how Vegeta saw it. And Babidi, out of desperation, would take over Goku's mind. Goku would actually accept it, and this would make him a lot stronger. But of course, Goku's mental will would overwhelm Babidi's Majin control, and he would actually defeat Babidi and Deborah alongside everyone else. Now, the Supreme Kai is offering to remove it, but Goku says no, I have full control, and this makes me stronger. Goku uses his magic as well to keep the power. Well, let's just say that he just removes that goofy M off his forehead because he doesn't like it. but he still has the power up from Babidi's magic. Now that he figured it out, he can enhance his body. This doesn't mean that Goku's evil. It just brings out who he really is. He's not particularly evil. He's still the Goku that we know. He's able to control it and control this massive power up. Now, Vegeta was angry about it. He wanted the power, but fortunately for Vegeta, it wouldn't have mattered. Now, Majin Buu would have been taken by the Supreme Kai and Kibito, and they would have left, but Goku would stop the Supreme Kai and say, train me, and he would reluctantly agree, bringing Gohan along as well. They would train with the Z-Sword, unfortunately breaking the Z-Sword, and then we would have Goku meeting the Elder Kai. The Elder Kai would actually offer to unlock Goku's latent potential alongside with Gohan's. And with that, Goku would gain even more power, maybe even gaining a potential unleashed form and training with the Kais. Now, we could jump into Dragon Ball Daima, which is right after the Dragon Ball saga, but we'll get to that one in the finale. After the events of the Buu arc, a majority of Dragon Ball Daima still relatively happens the same. One difference here is when they are all turned to children, Goku is still super OP. The fact he can tank damage, he's immortal. Yeah. Unfortunately for Goma, he would have been defeated by Goku. I would still believe that yes, Goku would have unlocked Super Saiyan 4 by the help of Neva. And I think that Goku seeing just how powerful the Demon Realm can make him, I think Goku would actually stay. So I still think that Goma would have been defeated, and everybody would have been reverted back to their original age. Goku would then stay and learn more about Demon Realm magic, to where he would then continue to grow in strength. Now, we never really talked much about Goku's personal life, because Chi-Chi finding out that Goku's immortal and the fact that he's never really home. You know, he doesn't have a good relationship with Gohan either, because his father is so dead set on just getting stronger. He just wants to get stronger and stronger. And the fact that he even allowed himself to have his own body taken over by Babidi just to get stronger, that's not really what they were believed in. And I think that would kind of push Goku away from a lot of his friends, but Goku doesn't really care in the end. Goku just wants to get stronger no matter what. Even Vegeta, in my opinion, does not have as much respect as he does in the original for Goku, because Goku was willing to accept shortcuts to power like that. But in my opinion, Vegeta doesn't really care. I feel like the biggest one, especially, is the immortality. Goku's just taking like a cheat code. Would Vegeta ever wish for his own immortality? Potentially, but that would be a what if Vegeta was immortal what if as well. And I don't think he would really do that. Vegeta's proud of where he is, and he's going to get stronger his own way. He's not going to cheat on a goofy way to get stronger. And yes, we know that Vegeta did take the Majin control in the original, but because he was desperate, and he thought that Kakarot was never going to come back again after this one time. So that's the reason why he did it originally. And I think Goku would decide to stay in the Demon Realm, where he would continue getting stronger. Goku can see that he can use his own magic to absorb the different abilities and such that you can learn in the Demon Realm, and this would enhance his power and only make him stronger and stronger and stronger. But one thing that it is doing to Goku that we fail to kind of realize is it's starting to corrupt him. You have to think about it. Goku is spending all this time with his dark magic to get himself stronger. The Demon Realm, he accepted Babidi's Majin magic, and everything to get stronger. And he does have Super Saiyan 4. Now, he does study the third eye that Goma used. He noticed how it does have a major weakness. This, of course, is once when you put the eye in, you get hit in the back of the head multiple times, you then lose the power. In my opinion, Goku would just use his own magic. He would be able to study it and take the properties of what it does and just enhance it to himself so it doesn't have that said weakness. And Goku would just continue traveling around the Demon Realm, continuing to grow stronger and more powerful. This version of Goku's an unstoppable monster, because he's just beating everything in the Demon Realm, growing stronger and stronger and stronger. And honestly, what else can Goku truly learn? Well, I think Goku would still be stuck in the Demon Realm for a while, where he would continue to push Super Saiyan 4 and study the Demon Realm magic, where he would get some incredible abilities. As there's a bunch of things that he could actually learn. As of now, Dragon Ball Daima has not fully been out yet. It's only been the first short season. But we're going to learn more about the Demon Realm, and that's where he can learn more abilities, such as the Dark Magic. He can have enhanced power up. Maybe use demonic ki or magic to enhance his power. Maybe he could tap into alternative forms, Super Saiyan 4. There's so much that Goku can actually learn in here, to where maybe he can even find knowledge. Martial arts from Kaio-Shins, which are evil Supreme Kais. Maybe techniques that are banned in the mortal realm due to their overwhelming power. There is so many things that Goku could realistically use. Now, of course, it's speculative because Dragon Ball Daima is not fully out yet. The only real big power-up that we saw was the third eye. That was like the major one. But other than that, I haven't really seen it all yet. Now, we are now going to cut into the Battle of Gods arc, when Lord Beerus will still wake up having reminiscences of a god, a being who can challenge his power. And he would still figure out that, oh, Frieza was defeated, and it was all on Earth. So he would still head his way there. Now, Bulma was celebrating her 38th birthday party. And I feel like Goku would still be there, as he kind of finished his stuff in the Demon Realm. Now he's just kind of getting stronger. Beerus would then arrive. Now, Beerus is interested in Goku since he notes on how Goku's much more powerful than the others. He wants to fight him. But Beerus is not really here to be play fighting. He wants to fight the Super Saiyan God. Now, Goku's never heard of this before. Never. And so they would have to use the Dragon Balls to then ask for the Super Saiyan God. This means that Beerus also would not get super angry like he did in the original, because he would not be having Majin Buu to anger him, because Majin Buu's not around. So Beerus would kind of stay calm, and he would be enjoying the Earth food while Shenron explains the Super Saiyan God ritual. Now, mind you, they would need 5 pure-hearted Saiyans to give Goku the energy. Well, Goku's not really pure of heart anymore, as much as he used to. So, would Goku accept it, and would it even work? They don't really have much of a choice but to try. Now, Vegeta wants to be the Super Saiyan God first, but Goku would cut him off, saying, I'm the strongest. If Beerus does not get what he wants, he's going to kill us all. Beerus even agrees. So they would try it on Goku, and would the Saiyan God ritual work? I'm going to say yes, as Vegeta was a bit evil-hearted to himself, even worse than Goku, and he's kind of cleaned himself up. While Goku is a bit tainted-hearted, he does have a lot of evil magic within him. I still think that the God Key would still work. And Goku now figuring out this power, he would instantly accept it, and he's glad that he was able to figure this out and be able to get stronger. So his clash with Beerus would be intense, as Goku would use every ability that he has on Beerus. Even Majin power-ups like Babidi, using the third eye. Magic. Now Beerus was surprised that the Saiyan can have magic like this, especially from the Demon Realm. That's interesting. But unfortunately, even adding all of that on top of Super Saiyan God, it would not be able to match Beerus in power. Goku's never met a foe as powerful as Beerus. He's always been able to find an edge, find a way to beat his opponents, not meet an immovable force such as Beerus. Beerus is so powerful that Goku would actually lose. Now, Goku would of course lose the power of the Super Saiyan God, but he had a taste of it, which would increase his power. And Beerus would be impressed by the Saiyan, and he says that, out of all the people, you're the strongest one I've ever fought, and Goku's happy to hear that. Now, that version of Super Saiyan God Goku is way more powerful than his original self by milestones. So yes, Beerus is very impressed, but of course Beerus is too powerful, Goku would have lost. Now, this is when I think we're going to have a bit of a turn of events. Whis would then offer Goku to become a god of destruction. If you guys remember, he offered it to Goku originally. Now, Goku in the original said no. This version of Goku says yes. He says yes immediately because he wants to have the power that Beerus has. To be a destroyer, he wants that power. And he will do whatever it takes to learn from Beerus and get stronger. That's just how Goku is. And being a god of destruction would work. Now, one thing people are going to be asking me as well, Goku wouldn't really be really defeated, wouldn't he? Because he has immortality, he has some android parts that make him practically continue fighting forever. Yes, but that doesn't tie in with God Ki, and Goku would of course lose the power, his attacks just won't do anything on Beerus. So you guys could argue, Goku can just keep on attacking Beerus. And yes, he could, but Goku would just be having an uphill battle, and Beerus is getting annoyed. Beerus would even threaten to Hakai him, and he explains that I know you have immortality, but that doesn't matter to me, because my Hakai ability even erases people who are immortal. And so Goku would get the hint and stop fighting. Just to kind of clear that up so everybody knows. Now, Vegeta was furious that Kakarot, of course, has said that he wants to become a god of destruction, and his friends are a little bit let down, but they're not too surprised. Goku would do whatever it takes to get stronger. And so Whis would actually bring Goku along and with Beerus, and he would actually leave. And Whis says that he'll definitely come back, try some of this Earth food. Vegeta doesn't want to be left behind in the dust, so he obviously wants to go travel along, but he has to be left alone for a few months. Now, when Goku does arrive, Beerus shows him around the planet, and Beerus explains that once when you prove yourself and you get stronger, Whis will start training you the right way, and then I will start training you myself. Once when I think you are ready to be an apprentice and aka become the God of Destruction, then we'll talk. But Beerus is tired, he wants to go take a nap, so he'll be asleep for a few years. He needs to get his God Key figured out first. Now, with Whis giving his soul time to Goku, Goku will be training nonstop. And since the fact that he can train nonstop, remember, because Whis doesn't really need to sleep either. He's an angel. He's I won't say omnipotent, but he can go pretty much forever. Goku is training 24/7. He doesn't need to really eat, doesn't need to sleep, doesn't need nothing. He can train forever, and he only gets stronger. And Whis is happy to see this, so Whis would continue pushing Goku, increasing his strength. Even inside of Whis' staff, which spends a whole year. It's a similar concept to the Room of Spirit and Time back on Earth. Now, as a few months would have then passed, Goku would have already pretty much mastered the God Key that he had, and he can enhance it even better. Now, Whis has taught him much that he needs to know, but to be taught how to use destruction energy, the Destroyer needs to teach Goku that. Now, by this point, I think Vegeta would finally arrive on Beerus' world, via Whis. Because Vegeta would entice Whis by the amazing foods and promising that Bulma would give him the best foods if he's allowed to train, and Whis is interested, so he'll bring Vegeta along. Now, Whis would train Vegeta solely on his own, so Vegeta does have better training. Goku would finally train with Beerus. Now, Beerus is not very merciful. Beerus would push Goku beyond his limits, teaching him about Destroyer abilities. Teaching him how to master Hakai energy. And at first it was difficult for Goku, but he starts to figure it out very quickly. Goku's a very gifted learner. And with this, over the next 2+ years of training, Goku has started to learn how to use Ultra Ego, if you guys remember. And he's able to use Destroyer abilities and to push himself further and further. And Goku would even secretly sneak off and study in the ancient scrolls. Now, these scrolls Whis keeps, and Goku, of course, would kind of bribe Whis with food where he can go read them. And Goku would just be transfixed, learning everything about the 12 universes, everything about Zeno, the powers, where everything came from, everything. Ramirez, who actually made Zeno, everything Goku knows. He knows everything about the Destroyers, all the Destroyers before Beerus, and the ones who could be after. He knows everything. And Goku's continuing to push his power further and further. He even knows there's limited scrolls on it. He even knows of something called a time patrol. And he doesn't really know what that is. But then he found something. Whis told him that he can read every scroll except one, as it's banished. But he had to keep it written down. This is called Divine Siphoning. This ability is basically where, during battle or during any heat exchange, Goku can absorb divine beings and absorb their power, from destroyers to angels, even if trained correctly, even omnipotent beings. It was so dangerous that Zeno Ramirez banned it, but Goku found it. He found it, and now he has an idea for it. But he would never try it against Beerus or Whis. They could kill him immediately. But he would then try it against Vegeta in secret. When him and Vegeta do a slight spar, just them two, no one else is around, Vegeta is in his Super Saiyan Blue form battling Goku, who's in his own blue form as well, as they both unlock blue. Goku would then do a little bit of a siphon, hitting Vegeta's chest and siphoning some of that power. Goku felt Vegeta's divine energy leave and go into him. It was just a super small amount, but it worked. And if Vegeta felt he got a little bit weaker, but he didn't know what that was, and Goku said, I don't know. Maybe Super Saiyan Blue just drains a lot of stamina, and Vegeta believes it. But this power has a horrendous problem. It corrupts the mind. That's the reason why they didn't want to do this. Why do you think 6 universes were wiped out completely? It's because a being learned how to do it. And he then used that power to start siphoning energy from divine beings. Zeno had to delete the 6 universes for that reason. Goku was starting to figure it out. Now, the events of the Golden Frieza arc wouldn't happen. Yes and no. If you wanted the events of Golden Frieza to still happen, unfortunately for Frieza, he would have been killed. Goku would either Hakai him, which I think probably would happen. He'd probably Hakai Frieza, completely disintegrating the Emperor. Or, if Frieza wasn't around, the arc would just never happen. Now, the Universe 6 and 7 arc would happen, confirmed. Now, Champa would still show up and challenge Beerus. Goku's, of course, interested, so Goku would then go and do the tournament. Now, most of the matchups will go similar. The only difference here is that Frost wouldn't be able to really poison Goku. Since Goku would not drop his guard like that, Goku would have knocked Frost out. Now, this also meant that Vegeta would also step up. Now, unfortunately for Universe 6, though, is I think Vegeta would still tell Kakarot to step out as he wants to fight Kaba, and then Vegeta would then fight Vegeta. But once when he fights Hit, Vegeta would have lost, as Hit has a time skip ability that Goku really likes. Now, this does remind him of something. It does remind him of Guldo's technique, which is aka freezing time. Which, remember, don't think I forgot about that technique. It's very similar. So when Goku actually steps up to battle Hit, both their time skipping ability would then be put to the test, and who would come out on top. Now, I already know who does, of course, is Goku. Hit's ever seen a time stopping ability like this before. Hit is able to skip through time just a sort of a second. Goku can practically freeze time around him. Now, this ability works if the opponent is a little bit weaker than him. That's how I'm going to put it, as if the opponent is much more powerful than him, they can speed through his time breathing ability. So Goku would then hold his breath, and he would have then defeated Hit's time skip ability, and Hit would have been knocked out of the ring. Now, this is when Zeno would appear, and Zeno was happy to see Goku. Goku, of course, becomes his friend, because it's still the similar Goku, and Zeno was excited to hear that he'll become a god of destruction. That's awesome. He'll become super cool. Zeno definitely wants to have a tournament like this, and Goku was, of course, down for it. Now, what about the events of the Goku Black saga? Now, Trunks is still running for his life from Goku Black, and he does arrive in the past, talking to Goku and the others. Now, Trunks here, one difference is I think when we see Goku Black arrive, would Goku just kill Goku Black? Well, yes and no. What I think would happen here is once when Goku Black does arrive for the first time, and he has a brief battle with Goku, Goku Black realizes just how strong Goku was. It was magnificent, just how strong he was. And he can sense that Goku is more divine than normal, as Goku is, of course, becoming a destroyer soon. This is where I think he would probably kill Goku Black early. The reason why I say that is either he would kill him early, but maybe before he Hakai's Goku Black, he's pulled back in his time. Because Goku was going to kill him, because Goku sees that he's a big problem. See, Goku was taught about the time thing. He was explained all about it. Now, he calls it time thing, mumbo jumbo, but he knows how serious it is if Zeno catches wind of them doing that kind of stuff, and, well, their universe is wiped out. So Goku has to take it seriously. If Zeno erases them, how can he get stronger? So that also means, would he really time travel? That's up for debate, because Trunks did time travel, but Goku's not going to attack Trunks, even though Beerus did threaten him. So the events of Goku Hakai and Goku Black would have to work, because Goku would not be allowed to go to the future timeline. So Goku Black would have actually been Hakai early. This means that Zamasu would have never been turned, and Trunks' timeline is saved. So Trunks would then leave, and Beerus would then warn Trunks, explaining that no matter what, never time travel again. And Trunks would then leave, knowing not to time travel again. Now, of course, past that point, Zeno still talked about the tournament that he wanted. So we would still have the Tournament of Power. Goku, of course, wants to do it because he can meet a lot of powerful people there. And so this is when Goku would then start recruiting people. He would, of course, would he recruit Frieza? Probably not, because Frieza's probably dead. They don't really care about Frieza. Beerus doesn't even think they need him, since Goku's just too OP. He's immortal. He has infinite stamina and ki. He's a god. He can transfer into Ultra Ego, for goodness sakes. Like no one can match him. So Goku would still have his initial match with Toppo, and he would have defeated him. Toppo explains that there's a being even more powerful than he is, that's stronger than a destroyer, and his name is Jiren. Now, the events of the Tournament of Power would go kind of similar. The only difference here is Goku would, of course, not waste his time too much on Kale and Caulifla. They're nothing really impressive to him, since Goku's so much stronger. And the only time that they might be able to give some fun to Goku is when they are Kefla and they do fusion. But even then, they're not as powerful as people say they are, because, again, Goku was super weak and he was defeated. Like, even Gohan was able to fight them in the manga. But I know it's different power scaling, but carry on. As now, Goku would, of course, see that Jiren is the biggest threat. Now, Belmont would then tell Jiren to go after Goku. Now, the two would have their match where Goku's going through all of his forms, testing it out. That's pretty much goes the same. Jiren's not really phased. Now, when Goku does go Super Saiyan Blue, Jiren then notes on how he also uses magic, because Goku's also using his Majin power-up with the Third Eye ability as well. And this is impressive, and Jiren's actually being knocked back. Goku's actually able to keep up with Jiren at full power. And Belmont is pulling his hair, terrified, because Jiren is actually being pushed back by Goku. Now, Vegeta is also battling Toppo. And Toppo, by this point, he would have then used his own God of Destruction mode, since Vegeta is overwhelming him. This is where we would see Vegeta go Blue Evolution, and he would overwhelm Toppo in their matchup and actually defeat him. Just the blast from Toppo and Vegeta's attack alone knocks the majority of people out of the ring and cracks the arena apart, as the battle is just so intense. Now, Goku and Jiren going at it. Jiren, of course, is being pushed into a corner by Goku, since every attack that Jiren hits on Goku, Goku is healing every single time. Now, one thing people need to know is, well, wouldn't that be classed as cheating, technically? And I don't think Beerus would say anything about Goku being immortal. They'll just say that Goku has a healing factor and he can just heal. That's probably the better way Beerus would say it, and yes, he'll lie for sure. And Goku's overwhelming Jiren, because every time Jiren hits him and it damages Goku, he just gets stronger and he continues fighting without stopping. Goku is a non-stop beater, pretty much. Like nothing can stop Goku. He's just a tank. Can just run you over. This is when Jiren, I think, is back into a corner, and he's reminded of his master and what happened. This is when Jiren would then transform into his Limit Breaker mode, and initially he does overwhelm Goku. Initially. But Goku would, of course, stop his fist, and he would then smirk at Jiren, and this is when Goku would then go Ultra Ego. Shocking everybody, Goku would absolutely dominate Jiren in their matchup, and even though Jiren would try everything he could against Goku, it wouldn't work, and Goku would have won, knocking him out of the ring. Now, of course, you could have Kefla trying to attack Goku. Of course, it wouldn't work out very well for him, as they would have been knocked out by Goku easily. Goku can just continue fighting. Now, realistically, past that point, there's not much else for Goku to really do. Would Goku unlock Ultra Instinct? I don't think so, because he would have to be pushed past his limits, so I don't think Ultra Instinct would be happening anytime soon. But he does have Ultra Ego. And now, since Goku was basically beating everybody the whole tournament, he's unstoppable. Goku becomes the winner of the Super Dragon Balls. This means that any wish he can have. And he's watching the Grand Priest as the Grand Priest just smirks up at him, almost testing him to say, well, what wish shall you make? Would Goku wish for all the universes to be brought back? Or would he wish for more power? Now remember, he has to take this wish very carefully. Zeno stated himself that, and said about the Grand Priest too, that if they did not make the right wish, Zeno would have completely wiped out everything. Goku's not a fool. He can tell that the Grand Priest is testing him. Goku would then have a bigger idea. He's not playing checkers, he's playing chess. This is when Goku would then ask for all the universes to be brought back. Why? Because Goku's going to travel to all these universes and get stronger. He's going to learn a siphon power and get stronger while he can before he becomes a destroyer. That's his big idea. So he decides to just wish it all back. And it's the right thing to do in the end. As they did help make him stronger, Jiren did make him stronger, so he owes them that much. And the Grand Priest was relieved that Goku did, because if he didn't, Zeno would have destroyed everything. Now that there was finally peace, what about the events of Broly? Well, would Broly even be a thing? Probably not. Unless Goku does make a wish. Maybe he goes back to Earth, makes a wish for the Dragon Balls because he's bored. He asks Shenron if there's anybody in the universe that can give him a challenge. And Shenron would state yes, there is a Saiyan on planet Vampa. So Goku and Whis would then arrive, as Beerus is taking a nap, he's tired, as they would then arrive alongside Vegeta to planet Vampa where Paragus is. Now Paragus sees Vegeta and, of course, tells Broly to attack. Broly would then try to attack Vegeta, and Vegeta is just toying with Broly at first. But Broly is starting to get stronger, as we know. And the fight continues on, continues on, continues on. To the point to where Broly is using the power of the Uzaru state to actually push him beyond his limit. And this is when Vegeta is even being pushed back, even in Super Saiyan God. This is when Goku would finally step in. And so we would then have Goku continuously battle Broly, but Goku's annihilating Broly in their matchup. Broly's pretty much reached his limit. Unfortunately for Broly, though, one of his blasts did actually hit Paragus and actually killed him. Broly would see that it was his fault, he would then snap, and he would then transform. Now, mind you, during this time, Chi-Lai and Lemma would probably still arrive on planet Vampa, and this was shortly after Goku would then arrive, since they didn't have to report to Frieza, but their ship crashed on planet Vampa. So Chi-Lai and Lemma might be friends of Broly, potentially, but we'll get to that later. As Broly, unfortunately, even though he's in Legendary Super Saiyan mode, even at full power, Goku's in Ultra Ego, and he's absolutely annihilating Broly. But he spares Broly's life because Broly is making him stronger. He has strength beating that of Jiren's, which is incredible. And he made Goku stronger. So Goku decides to spare Broly. And by this point, Chi-Lai and Lemma would then comfort Broly and be his friends. Goku would offer Broly to come train on Beerus' planet, and Broly would then agree. So Chi-Lai and Lemma do follow. Of course, Beerus got down bad for Chi-Lai, so he actually agrees to let them stay. And he's happy with that. But now, what about the later arcs, such as the Moro arc? Well, the events of the Moro arc, I think, would be pretty interesting. Unfortunately for Moro, I think Goku would overwhelm him. But Goku does see Moro's ability, where Moro literally eats energy. And I think Goku would see this kind of similar to siphoning, but he would actually be able to learn this ability and actually steal energy from Moro himself. And Moro was shocked with how Goku was able to do that, but it's Goku we're talking about. But Goku would have Hakkai'd Moro even before he could get younger, before he could fuse with Beerus, and he would have defeated him. And unfortunately for Moro, he would have had no chance. So Moro would have been killed, and Namek would have been saved. But now past that, what about the superhero movie? Well, superhero movie, would that realistically happen? You could say yes. Maybe it is a version of Cell Max. Maybe it's a version of the androids. The Regular Army's still alive and strong. They're still making androids. You could still say that's a potential saga, just to give Piccolo and Gohan love if you want, so they do get a beast form. Piccolo gets his own orange form. Now, of course, Gohan is a happy married man. All sagas the same, by the way. Reese Videl has Pan, everything else the same. Gohan, of course, does love his father, but he was always a little bit disrespected with how much his father just cares more about strength than anything else, but he just accepts it. He lives his life how he wants to, and he'll defend his planet, and that's how he sees it. And past that, I mean, honestly, other than that, not much else. And the events of the Gas and Granola arc wouldn't realistically happen because there's no Frieza around to kind of entice it. And if they did want revenge on the Saiyans, and even if you want to humor it and say it happened, Goku would have just killed them. Because he's stronger than that version of the Dragon Balls. He could have just Hakkai'd them both and they would have been killed. Or his power is so high that even if they both tried fighting him, they would have been killed. They would have aged too fast, and either Granola or even Gas would have died. So then that saga would have then ended. There's no Black Frieza, since Frieza was never brought back for the tournament anyway, and he was practically Hakai'd, so he was gone. So past that, that is the end of the saga. So anyway, that is it for this video, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to be on the lookout for the community poll to have your what if idea on there. Maybe it might win, and it'll be the next video. But anyway, thank you all so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Let's get to 50,000 subscribers, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.